He's often featured on international news networks specifically to discuss monetary policy, and he's also running for sheriff as a Democrat here in Richmond City. So go ahead and give a warm welcome to Chris Dorsey.
Hi, I'd like to thank everybody for the opportunity to speak to you today. My name is Chris Dorsey. I want to thank Nathan and Igor and all the rest of the people who put a lot of work into making this event happen and, you know, give us a little organizing to carry out our First Amendment guarantee. First of all, I want to say I am running for sheriff. I'm running as a Democrat. That being said, I understand that the leadership of the Democrat and the Republican Party are criminals, and they are involved in treason against the United States people and the government. All one has to do is do something that many smarter people than myself said, which is follow the money. And the monetary source of every action of the U.S. government is the Federal Reserve Bank. And we're standing in the shadow of the Richmond Federal Reserve Bank. And that is nothing more than the American arm of the international banking cartel, which is headed by something called the Bank for International Settlements in Basel, Switzerland. Now, the fact that an international bank in a foreign country, Switzerland, controls every aspect of what the United States government does is patently unconstitutional, and it makes the sovereignty of the United States non-existent. We don't have sovereign nations anymore. We have different branches of an international banking cartel which controls international military arms like the United States government. And the reason I'm saying that is because the current director of defense, a man named Leon Panetta, who left his job as the head of the Central Intelligence Agency, stated before a senatorial subcommittee hearing that it is the United Nations and NATO that control the actions of the U.S. military and not the Congress, which is mandated by Article 1, Section 8 of the United States Constitution. And so then we start thinking about the first part of Article 1, Section 8 of the United States Constitution, and that deals with the economy of the United States government. And the economy, the ability to coin and set the value of the money, very important. The distribution of the money, the taxes laid upon the citizens of the United States, that is to be controlled by the body that is closest to the people. And in this case, it is the United States Congress. So then we have the monetary taken care of. How American citizens will exchange money for services. So in order to have that remedied, we need an enforcement arm. And that's covered in the next section of Article 1, Section 8, which gives the Congress the ability to declare war, to give the funding to the United States military. So what we have now is an international private bank that is the monetary source of everything that the United States government does. It makes coordinated moves with all the other world private central banks, and the evidence for this is several weeks ago, the European Central Bank announced unlimited bond buying. That was their move. A week later, the Federal Reserve Bank announces unlimited bond buying. Again, they're making coordinated moves, but we don't even have to get that abstract, because the illegitimate entities that control our government, the Federal Reserve Bank, which is the arm of the BIS in the United States, they create money out of thin air, and they charge the people interest. It's no more complex than that. It's as simple as that. The Central Intelligence Agency and the FBI, they're not the intel arms of the US government. They're the intel arms of the international private banking cartel. Same with the Mossad, same with the MI6. They are not entities or representatives of sovereign governments, because sovereign governments do not exist. So, what I think is a clear solution to these problems that are well documented, that I urge no one ever to take my word for it, don't believe me for an instance. Check it out for yourself. But what I urge, knowing that you will find that what is being said by smarter people than myself and then I'm repeating is exactly true. And what I'm saying is the only way to remedy this situation is to come together in groups like we have here now and begin to start planning the arrest of the leaders of the institutions that control the criminal and illegitimate United States government. We have ample evidence. We can get into the minutia of the false flag 9/11 attacks. We can get into the minutia of illegal wars of aggression and violations of the Constitution. We will definitely do those things. But what I'm saying at this point is that we need to come together and state we are here to do one thing, and that is to enforce the law, because the most egregious crimes committed by the United States government and all the most pertinent actions taken by the United States government, they're all violations of the Constitution. They're all violations of Virginia Code. They're all violations of Municipal Code. And I want to say one thing as I close. I am running for sheriff, and I am currently in a lawsuit with my friend and associate Shirley Harvey, who's running for mayor of the city of Richmond. And we have a lawsuit against the Richmond Registrar, the Richmond Electoral Board, and the State Board of Elections. And we plan on showing, we have ample evidence for this, that every aspect of our elections are fraudulent and fixed, just like our monetary system. People smarter than myself have shown me how this is so. We have evidence. We are going to enforce the law, or we're going to force their hand into showing us that they will never enforce the law as it stands, and then they are going to become accessories to the crime. We're all about enforcing the law, the U.S. Constitution, the law of the land, and we plan on carrying out the arrest of the illegitimate leaders. Thank you very much. My name is Chris Dorsey. I'm running for sheriff of the city of Richmond. Peace.
Give it up for Chris. I love Chris.